My name is Milan Kordestani. We're standing outside of Target in Waco talking about what's next in politics. And we're standing here with
Juan,
Juan. I'm Milan. Nice to meet you. Juan, so how long have you been living in Waco, Texas?
pretty much my entire life at this point.
Living in Waco, what is one of your favorite things about this place?
I like how simple it is, how slow everything goes by, just a calm and easy place to live in.
What industry do you work in?
Currently, I'm a shift lead at one of our Wingstops.
Do you use artificial intelligence at all in your life?
A few times, but not like often. It's just like a rare occurrence.
What tool did you use? Like, how did you interface with it?
Usually ChatGPT. So just trying to figure out like stuff for school, trying to understand something better.
Do you have any fears around AI? We're doing these conversations because we're having a conversation with Pete Sessions in this month. Pete Sessions is the congressman that represents Waco, Texas. And the conversation is about AI and fears and concerns that people of Waco, Texas have around AI, and what concerns that we can bring to him to discuss. Do you have any fears about AI? Like even down to Terminator movie type ideas that could be in your head?
To be honest, the only fears I've had about AI is how fast they could start learning lots of things. Like recently, we've been having like a bunch of AI generated voices that have been used to scam people for all their information out of money and all that stuff. And sooner or later, it's gonna get to the point where we don't have to activate them to do that anymore. We could just have them go on their own. It could eventually lead to like a bunch of people's information getting stolen, a bunch of money being stolen, and pretty much just cause a lot of people to lose a bunch of money.
That's a unique one. The fraud, I think, is a very real concern. A lot of what else we've been hearing is people talking about job loss as being one of the big fears, and the amount of data that they are now like consenting, like your location being given to AI. Some issue that is kind of specific to Waco that's important to you or that you think is important for your congressman to know. I'll give you an example. We just spoke to someone who is a part of FFA, Future Farmers of America, and she was talking about how it's a really big concern that these organizations like Magnolia come up and buy land and are getting in the way of farming industry here. Anything like that that kind of keeps you up at night that you think, if I could say one thing to my congressman, I want him to know?
I pretty much have the same concern, like big corporations coming into Waco, often buying out all these areas. Like Waco is mainly like smaller businesses around here. So let's say Pop's Lemonade, for example. I feel like eventually, once Waco starts gaining more traction around here, that bigger corporations are going to start buying out those areas and pretty much eliminating all the small businesses that come around.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.